pushing to close Wisconsin's so-called daycare loophole after a Fox 6 investigation.
Our Amanda St. Hilaire joins us now to show the effort to stop child care centers from operating without licenses or inspections.
Steph, Ben, our investigation revealed child care centers can get around state rules for accountability by filling out a few short forms and calling themselves private schools. Legislation to change that fizzled out a few years ago, but state lawmakers say this time is different.
We are not state, we're actually a private school.
A hidden camera exposed the legal loophole hiding in plain sight.
There might be a lot of parents that don't even realize that their daycare or their school is not licensed and is not being held to standards.
Standards like staff-to-child ratios, background checks, and training. The state inspects licensed child care providers to make sure all those standards are met. But centers offering infant care can get out of those inspections by calling themselves private schools.
I would think that any quality private school or child care, whatever you want to call it, would want that type of inspection. If you try to hide something, that's where you get into trouble.
State Representative Christine Sinicki signed onto legislation in 2011 that would require schools caring for children younger than 3 to still have state licenses and inspections. The bill did well in committee.
It was a very strong bipartisan vote.
But it died before it could get a full vote. Now Sinicki says there are plans to reintroduce.
I think the Republicans and the Democrats alike are looking for something, things that we can work together on for the good of the state. And I think this is one of them. We're talking about children and their lives.
The sticky wicket? Cost. A fiscal estimate from the Department of Children and Families says there is no way to know how much money it would take to license all the centers flying under the radar, because right now there is no way to know how many of them exist. Even so,
every child needs to be protected.
Sinicki says it's up to state lawmakers to figure out a way forward.
And I think once something like this starts rolling, it starts picking up public support, and they realize, well, we got to do something about this.
After 6 months of fielding questions from Fox 6, the state departments of public instruction and children and families said they're also looking at ways they can tighten up their own policies to make it harder for child care centers to avoid those inspections.
Okay, what about child care programs that don't accept financial assistance or religious organizations like church daycares? Are they supposed to be licensed and inspected as well?
State law says yes, and that's why public records show more than 50 licensed and inspected Lutheran daycare programs, for example. Right now, there is that exception for schools, but state workers say that exception was not meant for child care infant programs, and that's why right now there's an effort to clarify that law. And if you did miss our original investigation into unlicensed child care centers, I do want to let everyone know that that is on our website, fox6now.com.
It certainly is eye-opening, that's for sure, and worth the watch.
Yeah.
We'll stay on it.
Good
We'll see what
stuff.
happens in Madison. Thank you. Well, ahead at